Hello, Ryan the Wine Guy here. Welcome to the Wine Review, bringing you another wine of the world. Today's wine will be featured from out of Australia. It is going to be Vinaceous Red Right Hand, vintage 2013. 14.5% alcohol by volume. It's going to consist of Shiraz, Grenache, and Tempranillo. And it is out of the western part of Australia. Give you a little bit about it. It is going to be from the Margaret River. 56% Shiraz, 29% Grenache, and Tempranillo at 15%. Vinaceous knows that every great performance starts with a great cast. The 2013 Red Right Hand Shiraz Grenache Tempranillo is a stylistic interpretation of an Australian classic with a twist in the tale. Rich, ripe Margaret River Shiraz starts as the hero of this wine, whilst juicy Grenache supports as the begulging heroine, filling the palate with fleshy fruit sweetness. The cameo of Latino Tempranillo gives the whole performance its pulse and distinctive spiciness. Older oak maturation gives length and a soft, generous finish. Here's what the bottle looks like. Now, they're very known to having their wine bottles be sort of like an act. Sort of as if it's an old-time play, as if this is a advertisement for an upcoming play. This company, Vinaceous, likes to do that. Here's the wine. It's a very dark colored wine. You can barely even see through it when you look in. So it's a very deep, dark color. Now, because it's from Australia, that means it's imported. It is imported by the Country Vintner Inc. out of Ashland, Virginia. And all their brands are imported from that company. So here we go. We will start with the nose and continue from there. So there's definitely some of that oak that you get on there. You get a hugeness of vanilla on the nose, followed by some sort of peppery spice. There's also some good plums on there. Almost some like dried up sweet cherry. A little bit of blackberry as well. So you're looking at those main components. It is a very dark forward wine, but there are hints of, I would say, cherry. Maybe even a small hint of raspberry. The palate. The palate is very smooth. It is full of that mature vanilla oak that I was talking about. A little bit sweet, with some good spicy pepper kicks on it. A nice, well-rounded fruit in there of cherries, plums, blackberries. So almost identical to the nose. It's very dry though. It has a dry aftertaste. So at first, while it goes down smoothly and it seems like the acid is pretty high, the tannins almost take over the acidicness. So it goes down slightly on the acidic side, but it tends to stand out very high in tannins, tends to be very on the dry end as an aftertaste. Um, the lingering effects are all there. You're sort of lingering with all these flavors. I've really still got that vanilla on the edge with a slight fruit, but that's sort of fading off. I'm mostly left with this kind of tinted pepper on it, which you get from the Shiraz, um, and it's it's a complicated wine, I would say. It's a 2013, so still, I think, in my opinion, this is a fairly young wine. It it's really not exciting, unfortunately. Even though it has all the good flavors there, it's just not. It doesn't scream out. It's almost another one of those where I'm just trying to think. It's just not exciting. I mean, it's full of exciting flavors, but it's not like you're. It's not like to the touch. You're just like, wow, like this is great. Like as if when it touches, before you even pull the glass away, it's almost as if you can. A light bulb goes up in your head as the wine's going down. Like bingo, bingo, bingo. This is awesome. This to me is just like when I take a sip. It's not until a few seconds after I even put the glass down that the flavors start emerging. And I frankly prefer me to already have the flavors in mind as I'm taking my sip. So for this to sort of be a late bloomer is not my ideal kind of wine. It's not a terrible wine, so don't get me don't get confused with that. It's not a terrible wine. It's not a great wine, but it's a drinkable wine, for lack of a better word. 3 stars out of 5. Most of you who have watched me know that I even say it's really hard to get a perfect 5. I've only done, I think, 2 or 3 out of my 20 some reviews that I've done. I think actually technically 2, although one of those I said would have been higher if it had waited a few more years. And it's also really hard to give something less than a 3. It has to be very, very disgusting tasting or just very unexciting. This is somewhat unexciting. I'm not saying that it's not terribly exciting. As I said, it's not. It's not like, oh, ooh la la, this is great. But it still has the enjoyable flavors that you should expect from a mixed. The oak, both the vanilla and the spicy pepperness on it. You got the very nice fruity berries on there. And sort of this mouth-watering acidity going down, but then it's left with the dry tannins afterwards. So it really all depends on how you like your wine. If you're more of a mouth-watering person, you might be surprised with where this wine takes you. If you're more of a dry wine person, believe me, this might start off being mouth-watering, but believe me, it does have a long, dry finish to it. In fact, I'm really parched right now, but it does have this dryness to it, but it does have still those lingering components. I still think this puppy could age another 2 years for it to really stand out. I want to go much more than that. I think vintage 2013 5-year mark is where it needs to be at. But I still think it's a little just too new to drink. So that's where I'm basing my decision off of that 3 to 5. Now, they have others which I do look forward to trying because I do like to give benefit of the doubt. You know, all wines are made differently, and all wine vineyards make different wines. So you can't say, oh, all their other wines are going to be exactly like this. Not necessarily. Because they have a Cabernet Sauvignon out there. This has no cab in it whatsoever. They have a Malbec. This has no Malbec in it whatsoever. So the process of how grapes are made is different from not only vintage, not only vineyard, but also by region. So even though they're grown in the same region, one of their other wines might have more of a excitingness to it. So I'm thinking maybe towards the end of the year, maybe at the end of next year, or excuse me, at the end of this year, maybe beginning of next year, I have either their Cabin wine that I want to try or their Malbec that I want to try. So those are, or maybe even both. So those are two upcoming ones you can expect. And if then I don't like either of those two as much as I thought that this one was okay, then I'll say, you know, maybe not the type of wine you want to try. But it is all Australia, and I do sort of have a little thing for Australian wines right now. Although I got a thing for all wines. You know, I am Ryan the Wine Guy. So, you know, just give me a bottle. I'll pop it open, pour me a glass. I'll sniff it. I'll tell you what I think. I'll taste it. I'll tell you what I think. And, you know, we can discuss it from there. But anyway, I'll show you all the bottle one more time so you can take a look at it. Red Right Hand by Vinaceous. 2013 vintage. There is a 2014, I believe, out there. And I believe you could even find as low as a 12. So just keep your eyes out on those different vintages. Because, will it matter? Maybe not so much. Maybe there might be a slight difference from the 12 to the 14. But I mean, unless if there was just some drastic weather pattern that vintage, it might not be very different. Or unless if they just completely made it a different way. They put more of a different grape in there. But this is and actually let me show you. You can always tell what the first main component of a mixed is because it goes from left to right. So as you see, you got the Shiraz here, you've got the Grenache, then you got the Tempranillo, and obviously you've got 56, 29, and 15. So that doesn't matter whether you're looking for this one or if you're looking for another mixed red. Know that if on the label, let's say it has 4 different grapes, know that the first one that they show is going to be the dominant one. Excuse me, it's going to be the dominant one, and the one at the very end will be the least dominant. Most wines will show the percentages on the back. However, you can probably always look it up. I'm sure their website has it. But just know that for future reference, that when you're looking, so you don't have to wonder, oh, you know, it says it has Shiraz, Grenache, and Tempranillo, but, you know, which one is there more of? Just know that it's like you're reading a book, left to right. So that's how you know. Anyway, it's been great reviewing this wine with you all. Like I said, 3 out of 5. So not terribly an exciting wine, but it is a middle of the road wine. And I think it's something just, if you're not really into wine and you're just looking to, have something to drink, yeah, why not go for it? I mean, this is a good wine just to relax with, just to have dinner with. So I'm not by all means saying don't drink it. Just if you're in the mood for something exciting, I would say this for just a uneventful night. Anyway, until next time, everyone. I'm Ryan, the wine guy. Feel free to discuss this wine with me in the future if you ever have tried it or if you do decide to try it. Well, thank you very much. Cheers.